Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Rahman and you are watching the animals production practices. In today's lecture we are going to talk about the importance of the animal breeding. We will get to know what is animal breeding, what are the benefits of breeding the animals, and similarly what is the history of the animal breeding, the different scientists who developed or worked on the animal breeding, what they said on it, how they defined the animal breeding. To breed in dictionary has 7 different meanings. The term to breed, if we consult the term to breed in the dictionary, we get 7 meanings, going from to produce offspring to the bombardment of the neutrons in order to produce a fissionable element. When to say to breed is a broad term, it is covering from the offspring to the fissionable element. However, an intermediate definition of the animal breeding can be defined as it is to developed by tradition or education, which is probably the closest to our present understanding of animal breeding. Animal breeding may be defined as, or in simple words we can say it as, to develop by tradition, to develop anything. And as we are talking about the animals, so to develop the genetic traits or to improve the traits by tradition or by education may be considered as animal breeding. However, different scientists who worked or defined the animal breeding are listed here. Several definitions of the animal breeding in the scientific literature are available. The scientist J. Lush in 1945 defined the animal breeding as the means available for improving the heredity of the farm animals. J. Lush only related the farm animals to the animal breeding. However, the animal breeding, as I discussed earlier, is a broad term. And later, animal breeding may be seen as the optimal exploitation of the species. Biological variation under given constraints of reproductive capacity using appropriate breeding value estimation tools. The term genetic improvement, often considered as contribution from other disciplines. The animal breeding or the term breeding is not a subject itself, it is involving different other disciplines like the statistics, statistical analysis are involved in the breeding. Similarly, the biochemistry, the chemistry of the different molecules is also studied, and then the physiology of the animals is deeply studied to arrange the genes or to study the animal breeding. And later and at the end is the economics in the profit view or the business point of view. So animal breeding discipline is involving the statistic, biochemistry, physiology and the economics of the animal. Breeding objective. Why we do the breeding of the animals? The basic objective of the animal breeding is to enhance the efficiency of production. Production is the basic thing. If we relate it to the business, the profit and the sales and the production, these are these interrelated terms, and the business is run on these terms. So to enhance the production or the profitability of the animal of the business and the production of the animals, we do breeding. Similarly, the quality of the product for the ultimate consumer through planned genetic change. I would like to relate this second benefit to the meat production. The meat production, the meat quality is directly related to the breeding or the trait or the breed of the animal. Breeding programs. Livestock production is an economic enterprise. Breeding programs involves systems of management as well as systems of breeding. Different breeding programs are involved and are practiced throughout the year in the breeding seasons, and these are related to the management as well as the systems of the breeding. How can we relate genetics and the environment with each other? Genetics versus environment. Environmental influences such as improved nutrition, disease prevention or housing have immediate effect on the production, but these are temporary. These we may not consider them as the long term or the races improvement or the genetic improvement. They will be as they will be there. These benefits will be there. Maybe production increased or the comfortness of the animal may be improved, but these are there up to the presence of the specific environment. As we remove that environment, the animals may return to dead conditions, may retard the growth or the less the production may occur. Genetic improvement is usually slower and often less dramatic, yet it is more permanent. Genetic stability or the genetic work at the gene level improve the species, improve the breeding values, improve the overall traits of the animal, overall exposure of the animal. So it is permanent and the offsprings will be having those traits. Okay. The genes do not express themselves in vacuum. The final expression of a trait represents the joint action of both heredity of the animal and environment provided by its expression. In these sentences, we may understand them in simple words as the genes need an environment or the medium to express themselves. They cannot be expressed in the vacuum. They need environment, and the final exposure of the traits of an animal is the combination of both the environmental factors like the temperature, like the humidity, like the housing style, like the nutritional factors, and the genetic factors. Okay, so the gene expression is related to genetic factors and environmental factors, and the final expression is related to both of these. Animal breeding has contributed much to the total improvement of the livestock production, especially in the milk production. We will discuss in detail how the genetic improvement improved the milk production ahead. Where performance records have been available to direct selection and assess the changes in results have been dramatic. In other areas, combined environmental and genetic advances have led to remarkable success. For example, increase in milk yield over the last 40 years. Has the milk production is still sufficient to fulfill the needs of the humanity? No. Still we need genetically improved species, genetically improved animals to fulfill the requirements of the milk, meat and the other animal products. This is the graphical explanation of the genetic improvement, and it's related to milk production increased. You can see here in 1930 the milk production was just, you may say, the 33,000. 3300, sorry, 33,000. Then in 1980, you can see here the milk production has crossed or touched the 7,000 kg milk per annum value figure. Look at this figure, 7,000 kg per year milk production by an animal. This is the importance of the breeding and genetic improvement. And the graphical representation of is taken from data of 1925 to 1985 of all cows on dairy herd improvement test in the US. The rate of increase in milk yield has been about 1% of the mean yield per year. Analysis indicate that approximately half of this is due to the genetic improvements. The highest production by an individual cow is now 25,000 kg of the milk in 365 days milked twice daily. Meant to say, if an animal is milked twice, morning and evening, and then in 365 days, in 1 year, that animal produced 25,000 kg milk. This is mashallah amazing figure. Holstein cow, Beecher or Linda Allen, excellent at 91 points. These are the genetically improved animals for milk production. She is the world record leader for milk yield with 365 day twice daily milking. These are the species breeds which are the milk production leader. This is the example or the statistical approach of the milk production. In 1 year, Ellen produced enough milk to provide a liter a day for a person for 69 years. Meant to say, an Ellen produced enough milk to provide a person 1 liter per day for 69 years. From 1 year production of the Ellen, we can provide or fulfill the demand of the one person up to 69 years. And the other factors are the other improvements in which the breeding or the genetic improvement have played their role is the broiler production. The broiler genetically improved. First, the broiler production was in 60 days. Now it has the time period or the duration of the broiler production has reduced to 35 days. This is the genetic improvement. And then the layer production. Now the layers are producing yielding eggs at about figure you may say 300 above eggs per annum. Meat production breeds are now much important, and still the work need to be done in these sectors, especially in the meat production sector. The meat production animals should be reared and the improved genetically as well. So this is the today lecture. Thank you very much for your interest. Be watching animals production practices like